Okay, you all. Hi, it's Jenny. Been a few days since I've posted anything. The weekend with my daughter was wonderful. Turned into more of a food fest than I expected it to. Um, and I really just stopped HCG going into it because I was kind of finishing up or I wasn't even finishing up Tom, but Tom was like happening, and so between that and knowing that I was eating, I just stopped the drops. So I hadn't been on the drops for a while, and then the last 2 days I loaded. And I'm like, I'm just getting back on the bandwagon. So the numbers are back up. I'm hoping they will jump down significantly in the next couple of days. I am highly motivated now. I just last night saw the $92 Southwest one-way flight specials. By the time I talked to my daughter, I missed out on one. But that's okay, because still for like under $250, I'm flying round trip, out the door. It's like $240 something from Cleveland to LA. And then I'll stay with her for like 5 days. And it's Southwest, so I get 2 free bags too, so I don't have to pay for luggage. And yes, it was worth it to do that. Unfortunately, it's coming up very soon. So, because of that, I'm going to try to do a really good job on this diet. So many stuff is coming up, okay? So, we got bumped, my get-together with my girlfriends who we haven't met in like 15 years, and we're going for dinner and drinks. Supposed to be tonight. It's next Wednesday now. So that's going to be right in the middle of all of this. I can probably, just not eat during the day and take the drops and have a salad. The drinking part is going to be tricky for me. But maybe I just won't drink. I'll just tell them that I'm not drinking for whatever reason, and I'll try to be good. That'll be my goal. Dinner and drinks with friends who I haven't seen in 15 years. And I'm not going to have a drink. All right, so that happened. Then the weekend that I am going to visit my daughter was a weekend that the cheer moms, who we got together, I may have mentioned it in a video before, we hadn't gotten together in like 3 or 4 years, and we put a date on the schedule when we were all together and spent the night at the hotel and hung out and just had a good time. Put a date on the schedule to do it again, and we were going to be staying at the house of one of the gals, so her entire family was going to be gone that weekend, so we were going to spend the night there, so we were going to get a hotel room, and spending the night's a good thing because beverages flow. And this is a group, it's not like dinner and drinks, this is a group where it's like drinks. Oh, and here's some food to help you get through the evening. So not having a beverage is not a possibility. They wanted to go the Friday before I left for our planned date was the Friday before leaving. My flight leaves at 5:20 in the morning. I didn't even know flights took off that early. I swear, not in my airport. The Cleveland airport's very small. It doesn't really even open up until about 6 a.m. Well, that's not true. Some of the flights start at 6. But for a flight to leave at like 5:20, that means you're supposed to get at the air. They don't open before 4. I know that. Nothing's open before 4. So I guess at 4 o'clock I arrive and do what I can. Okay, so there's that. So I had to reschedule it. And I kept pushing the next weekend. There was a conflict always with somebody. And then finally somebody said, how about we push it up to March 20th? I could do that, and everyone else can do it, and I can do it too. But now, that falls like 2 weeks into this diet. Like it's the weekend before I go. Oh, it's just so hard to find 21 days. There's not, and I've already decided that, okay, dinner and drinks, no drinks, and I'm going to have a salad, and I'm going to try to do as good as I can. Going to the restaurant that we're going to, which it used to be a Mexican restaurant, but it's changed. I don't even know if it's Mexican anymore. But this evening of silliness and games and having drinks and catching up and visiting and socializing is really going to screw up my numbers. And here's what I did. I took and I thought, okay, first day, lose a pound. Next day, lose a pound. After that, half a pound every day. This is my goal, okay? I did that, and because loading took me all the way up to 173.6, that takes me only to 157.5, which is not great to go to California at 157.5. So my goal was to do better this time, to try to do better than a half a pound a day. That was my goal. And I had done that the very first time on the diet, so I knew it was doable to do more than a half a pound. And I thought if I can get myself to that 155 mark, I'll be really happy. And then after 157.5, thinking, okay, this is before I even knew that we were going to be rescheduling this. I mean, it's like now a half a pound a day would be great if I could do that. And I could get to 157. Jenny. So anyway, I just kept going half a pound after that. And then I felt really good because if I keep going a half a pound, if I did a half a pound consistently all the way up to that trip and then continue to do a half a pound, which is doable on the trip, because my daughter is very, very health conscious. So we can do a lot of exercising, walking, running, canyon, that kind of stuff. She's game for that, finding new walking paths and places to go. That's a good time for her. Even going to the beach, just walking the beach is good exercise for your legs. So I don't know what we'll do, but we can be physically active, and getting healthy food is something that she really enjoys. Don't really go out to eat, but I can get myself to eat. Just go to the grocery store and buy her some really healthy stuff that she can make for the other meals, and then I can just have like a good salad once a day and stay good. I mean, will I be on the drops during that time? Oh, I guess I could. But if I keep going half a pound every day, when I get to April 15th, which is longer than I should be on it, but that's the day that I'm leaving to go with my son to San Antonio, I would be 148.5. And that would be glorious to be in the 140s on that trip. So, because he doesn't like to walk, and he's not health conscious. So I will do my best to be as active as I can, but it's not easy with somebody who doesn't want to be physically active. All right, so that was my overall goal and plan. Right before getting on this, people are texting back and forth, and I realized that on the 20th of March is when we're going to have our get-together, and that's not going to be great. But I'm feeling good about the diet right now, just knowing that I've got these 2 events coming up that I want to look good for. I'm very upset with myself that I just kind of let this whole week go and then did a big load again. I mean, I put thousands of calories. It's going to take a while to bring them back down. I might even hit the 160s according to my numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6 days, and that's losing a pound the first 2 days. Both. I don't know. If you do some research, and I did a little bit of research before doing this video today on what everybody's saying is their average weight loss on HCG. Lots of bloggers and lots of sites that have doctors that are advertising it. Like I did a bunch of research. If you go to any of like the professional sites, they will say that you will lose 1 to 2 pounds a day. And I just thought, I really didn't lose a whole pound every day. Even when I did it the first time, and I was strict on it. Strict. I just had a piece of fish or turkey with a vegetable with like asparagus. I didn't cheat. I put no oils. I put 0 carbs. I was extremely strict. Did not eat more than 500 calories. I did eliminate the grissini stick after like the first week when I realized I really didn't need it anymore. and eventually eliminated the apple too. But for a while, I had the apple. So, I mean, am I going to add the apple? The apple just throws my brain for a loop. It really does, because of the high sugar content in it, and because I would think ketosis is a significant part of this diet, but yet it's part of the protocol. So I don't know. But this is what I did about the apple. I mean, apples are fine. Apples are okay. Everything that I could eat in the world. You know, if I'm really thirsty or something and then there's a juicy apple, it's wonderful. It's okay. That's how I see an apple. It's fine. I would never go like, ooh, I can't wait to have an apple. However, if I cut up that apple, core it and cut it up, and stick it in the microwave for a minute with some cinnamon sprinkled on it, now you've got baked apples. And that's pretty amazing. I used to put Splenda on there too, but then I started to realize that there was absolutely no need for the Splenda because the sugars in the apple are more than enough to just sprinkle some cinnamon on there and have baked apple, like your own sort of baked apple pie dessert. I turned it into a pie once by crumbling up the grissini stick and putting it in there and thinking that was like my crust. Not really, but so I'm going to think long and hard about how I'm going to incorporate the apples or not incorporate the apples into this. But I am going to get on the treadmill every day. I am going to keep my diet to 500 calories. And I am going to eliminate carbs as part of this. I will most likely eat one meal a day because that just works for me really well. But if I find myself on a stall or something like that, I might split it and see if that helps. I just personally find myself, if I split that 500 calories to 250, and I eat the 250 at like noon, and then eat the other 250 later, after noon, I'm ravishly hungry. It just spurs something in my metabolism that makes me really hungry for the day. So I might increase the drops a little bit this time. I don't have a lot to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and order some more HCG and see how that affects me. I did a half a pound doing just drops once a day last time, and I was good with that. When I lost the most, I was doing, the full amount of drops 3 times a day. I was doing the drops. I don't necessarily think that the more drops, the more weight you lose. In fact, I know the correlation doesn't work like that. It's really all about finding the perfect balance. And for me, it seemed like the perfect balance was to do the drops once a day. So we'll see. There's a lot of up in the airs right now, but I think I'm just gonna dive right in. Today's day number 1. I have a lot of lettuce still, so I guess it'll be lettuce as my salad and fish today for day number 1. And I will do drops 3 times a day to make sure that even though my stomach feels full right now, it's very interesting. I have eaten so much in the past week, and then with loading, I can actually feel my stomach start to growl, having not eaten anything since 8 o'clock last night, and this is now 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's been 12 hours. I can feel it. It feels like it's like physical growling sensation. Yet at the same time, my stomach feels so bloated and full. So it's an interesting phenomenon that I don't think I've ever experienced before. All right. So this is a lot of rambling to just say, here we go. This is the true round 4 that I said was going to happen a couple weeks ago and never happened. Here we go. Round 4. I have my chart all set up for myself here. What my weight is, what the day is. Highlight the day I'm going on the first trip to LA. Highlight the second day where I'm taking the trip to Texas. I should probably also mark on here girls' night, so I'm aware of when that's coming up to help motivate me to be really good leading up to it. I'm so mad about that, especially falling 1 week before. I feel like what's going to happen is it's not going to go well, obviously, and then when I leave for the trip, I'll probably be back to where I was the day before that. I bet it'll take me an entire week to recuperate and get back to where I was. So that's devastating. So the reality is I have to look at this girls' night as my goal weight for where I'm going to be when I go on this trip. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. Jenny. If I would have known this trip was happening, I wouldn't be in this position. I just need to live my life thinking that I never know when I'm spontaneously going to pick up and go to LA, and that will help me. I just need those kind of markers to work towards. I just can't be I want to be healthy and this is how I'm going to eat every day. And I don't want anything traumatic to happen in my life. I really don't. I don't want to find out that I have diabetes or that I have any kind of other diseases where I have to be really restrictive of high cholesterol, high blood pressure. I mean, I don't want any of that to happen. But that's the kind of stuff that almost has to happen to have a physician tell me this is what you need to do. And then I start being better about it. That is how I got off of drinking Diet Cherry Pepsi morning, noon, and night. And literally no other beverage. For 10 years plus. I mean, I lived on this stuff. And it was my ruptured appendix and the surgeon telling me, you can't do that. After this, you have to have a water-based drink. And then, of course, he threw in there, you really shouldn't do it even if you didn't have a ruptured appendix. I'm like, I know. But, it was so painful and it was such a long recovery that for such a, when you do something for 3 months, then it really becomes a pattern. And I was able to adapt and create a drink that was this much water, this much soda. With a flavor packeting, sugar-free flavor packeting in there. And now I love it. I love it better. If I filled this up with soda, I wouldn't enjoy it as much as the drink that I've created. And so I've readjusted my palate, and I know that it's possible to do that also, but I think for me, it takes 3 months. They say it takes 6 weeks to create a habit, and I don't think that's a possibility. I think 3 months. So here we go. How much am I going to lose? My goal is a half a pound a day. I think it was HCG Chica who said in her blog that the reality is most women lose 0.3 pounds a day on this diet, simply because of calories. If you were to lose a pound a day, that would be burning like 4,000 calories a day. And who burns 4,000 calories a day? Right? No, people don't do that. Not your average female body anyway. All right. So here we go. I'll be in touch. I'll come up with another topic tomorrow. The topics will motivate me to do a little bit of research, so there's a little bit of information on here, and I'll also give you updates on what's going on in my crazy life. Does anyone else have things that keep coming up like this that prevent you from being really successful in HCG? I don't know. First week of May. So I've got March, I've got LA, April, I've got March, I've got LA and the girls overnight and my night with the girls I haven't seen in a long time. That's all in March. April, I have the trip with my son for a week in San Antonio, which is going to be hard to eat really well on that, but I'll do my best. And then, especially because when I end up buying stuff for him and it's just there, I mean, I'm pretty good at a restaurant where I can order a salad, but then I'll probably have other snacks and foods that I'll bring to provide like a snacky lunch throughout the day, so I'm not buying meals all the time. And that's where it's going to be hard, because the things that I'll buy for him will be high carb stuff that he really enjoys, that he's willing to eat, and that's going to be a temptation for me to just be around all the time. Anyway, and then in May I have another one of my scrapbooking retreats. Right there you go, right at the beginning of May. So like it seems stupid to do this diet in some regards, but on the flip side, I don't know, if I just tried to lose it on my own, it's not going to happen. It never does. Never does. This is the only thing that ever works for me. So there you go. It's going to force me to do a girls' night out and be good. And then we'll just do an experiment in March, at the end of March, and see how that girls' overnight goes, because I don't know. Especially when you start having a couple drinks, it's hard to monitor your food intake, isn't it? I mean, that's when things just go awry. So hopefully it'll just be one night and my body will just kind of like freak out and then say it's not going to gain that much, or it'll just sort of be a shock to my system and it'll lose real quick. You know, some people do that. They have like a day where they like eat a ton of food. They kind of have a cheat day. Not necessarily all bad food, but like a real high caloric intake day because it kind of like triggers something in your metabolism. I've read about that in the past with certain diets. It's not an HCG thing at all, but maybe this will do that for me. And I'll go way up, but then all of a sudden my body will be like, oh, we have lots of calories, we're good, let's start like really burning them, and then it'll come back down. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Rambling. I'm so sorry. I'm going to post, and I will see you tomorrow.